Hi everyone, it's Stormy here, and it's me, Tickled Pink here, and today we're going to talk about folks irked and angered over the ESPN deal that WWE got. Now, first off, folks are still irked and angered that there is no cheap deal with ESPN. The only deal they give you is a $35 a month with showings, and that's it. It's like take it or leave it. And a lot of folks are irked and angered that WWE would choose, to get a deal with the ESPN arm of the Walt Disney business and not ask them to lower it. Well, I don't think they could. I don't know if they could or could not. Sometimes when you get a streaming deal or a broadcast deal, the fee is something that you can get a deal with or you can't get a deal with. So folks are irked and angered over that. But does that stop them from watching it? The ones that could afford ESPN went on and set it up and watched it. Those who didn't want to go for all of it chose not to buy it and chose not to watch it. Now, that is where you would think this would end at. But no, it seems that they say that WrestlePalooza or Wrestle Gathering was a lie. How was it a lie? They did the show. They had the matches. Folks went to the show, there. Folks watched the show either through Netflix and most of the world, or ESPN and the 401 Rex or whatever. So it wasn't a lie. Were they irked or angered over the outcome of the matches? Were they irked and angered over how the matches were handled? They don't say. And these are folks making up shit because they're angry about the fee that they got to yield for the ESPN new toll, which pisses them off. So they're gonna lie, they're gonna make up shit that's not true. And you're gonna read all over the interwebs, or you're gonna watch films of them either lying, making up shit about WWE, because they don't know how to deal with the ESPN fee. I mean, there's always going to be folks that, that do this shit. It wasn't a lie. I don't know where they got that from. But it seems that a lot of folks think if they rant or bitch or scathe WWE for all kinds of things, or guilt them or shame them for things they didn't say or didn't do, or just scathe them, or give their thoughts and say everything's bad about them, they think that somehow that's going to undo the deal. I don't think it is going to undo the deal. And I'm sorry for folks who cannot afford ESPN. I am truly sorry for folks for that. But it is what it is. And what were folks going to do? Buy it through their Wire Moon Giver and then bitch about how their Wire Moon Giver had a buying fee that they thought they couldn't afford? Because that's how it was back in the day, folks. Before streaming became a thing, the only way you could watch a film, show, or play was buying it for your Wire Moon Giver as a yield before you see film, show, whatever. And those fees were high, and you didn't see folks bitching. Well, you heard folks bitch and rant, yeah, you did. But you didn't see them make up lies about the business, or besmirch their good name. But it seems that folks had it too good. You see, when the W Folkwork came along and Peacock, well, everybody had it good because they thought, oh, everyone's going to have the same fee. Well, no. See, when something was too good for a long time and it shifted, folks couldn't handle it. So they don't know how to deal with it the right way. So, that's what they do. You're right. Hold on here. You're right. Fuck. Come on. Get the hair down. Well, fuck. Well, you're right about that, Stormy. Folks are irked and angered over the streaming fee for the ESPN's new toll that WWE got to deal with to stream all of their Yield shows, and I guess the rest of WWE Folkwork will follow, I guess. I don't know. And they are unhappy about this. But instead of handling it the right way, they bitch and rant, make up lies about WWE, besmirch their good name, and now they're going to say, oh, the show was a lie. How was it a stunt? How was it a lark? I don't understand. How can you say that something is a lie? How can you say it's a stunt or a lark? I don't know. And I guess they think if they besmirch WWE's name and they guilt them and shame them for things they didn't say and didn't do and say shit, they think that somehow Nick Kong and Paul Levesque will say, oh, look, we're sorry that the Walt Disney business, the ESPN arm of the Walt Disney business is making you have to yield $35 a month. Sorry about that. There's not much we can do about it. Do you want us to get a new deal and tell them to lower the fee? Or whatever. I don't know what they want. A lot of folks don't know what they want, and a lot of folks don't know how to handle it. So yeah, they're going to say W's a liar. They're going to besmirch them. They're going to make up shit that they didn't say and didn't do. They're going to guilt them and shame them for things they didn't say or didn't do. They're going to say, oh, they're dying. No one knows how to run them right. Whatever. They're going to say all that over that thing. Well, it is what it is. So I just don't understand where that's all coming from. I can understand someone being irked or angered over $35 a month, to stream something or to have the right to watch something that's being streamed. I get that. But to come on, to besmirch the business, to besmirch WWE, to guilt them or shame them for things they didn't say and they didn't do, come on. I know a lot of folks in the world don't look skilled wrestling businesses. But come on, folks. See, I'm not going to be like that. And I'll never be like that. And if folks want to be irked or angered over all of it, hey, they got that right. And if they want to besmirch WWE's name, well, they can go right ahead and do it. But I don't think it's going to undo the ESPN fee. And I don't think that it's going to undo anything that happened. Sorry if you could not. Sorry if you could not afford ESPN. So, okay, I'm sorry if you couldn't afford it. And I'm sorry if you're unhappy with the fee, the streaming fee that ESPN has folks yield for each month to watch WWE or other sporting shows or whatever it happens to be. So, sorry about that. Well, Tickle Pink, you kind of took up most of the time of this film. But then I guess that's a good thing. At the end of the day, there are going to be folks that are going to be irked and angered over this who, it's a shift from only yielding, I don't know, $10 a month on W Folkwork or on Peacock to see WE things, and now have to yield $35 on ESPN to see WE things. And a lot of folks in the world do not like that, but there's nothing they can do about it. They can choose not to buy the ESPN toll. They can choose not to watch it. Yeah, they can do that. But to bitch and rant isn't going to undo anything. To guilt or shame WWE for things they didn't do and they didn't say isn't going to undo it. To say that Wrestle Gathering is a lie or stunt or a lark, that's not true. It's not a stunt. It's not a lark. Because what were they lying about? What were they playing folks about? What, showings on ESPN? Anyone who bought the ESPN tool knew that there was going to be showings in between of the sporting shows or games or whatever. So that wasn't a lie. Everybody knew that. But anyway, give this film a like, share and playlist it, and we'll see you later.